Thanks everyone. Thanks panel. So I think everyone knows about the importance about feedback, right? I mean, we know what is the feedback and how we are using those feedback and understand the problem statement and take the actions, right? So for Bikanervala, we are getting more than 20,000 feedback in a month. And we process, we check, and we understand, and then we take different measure, right? I mean, if anything issues with the packaging, if any product, any enhancement required, then we do it, right? So similar to, we all have a different genre, so we do check our feedback, might be not at 20,000, 30,000, but some of them like 10, 20, 40, 60, we take it. I mean, we take it on any number of feedback and we check everyone's feedback, right? Whenever any feedback is posted on our social media, in our own channel, we check and we process, right? That's the whole idea. So, starting with Vibha, right? So, but how do you handle the feedbacks? How do you process your feedbacks? Because you have multiple channels and all, you have multiple queries, you have multiple escalation. So how do you do that?
Sure. Thank you, Sumit. Hi, everyone. So I'm Vibha, and I head customer experience for Shriram Automall. We are the largest phygital marketplace for pre-owned vehicles, equipment, and assets. So anything that moves on wheels, or even property and gold. So we are the largest auctioneer in the country. So in this context, measuring and managing feedback is very, very important because our business is hardcore real time. We have 70% of our business as physical, 30% online. So we have the customer, the buyer and the seller right there in front of us, and we being the marketplace, managing that feedback real time. So trust and transparency, these are the two key pillars which drives the entire business. And of course, the key is the price point, because for a pre-owned asset, price point is very, very important for the customer. So we have two non-negotiable KPIs that we manage and measure. One is the Net Promoter Score, which is NPS, and the other is Customer Satisfaction Score, CSAT. So NPS helps us understand the advocacy. It is not just the satisfaction, but we also try to measure whether the customer is going to recommend us in their network of friends and family. Because this shows that it is the real litmus test, I would say, in the market, which shows whether they are associated with us from a long-term perspective or not. Similarly, CSAT helps us gauge the transactional level feedback at each and every step of the customer journey. And that helps us really find the gaps and fix them, whether it's at the time of inspection or valuation of the vehicle, or the bidding process, or the delivery process, or even the after-sales service, right? So these are the two key parameters, but we also go beyond that in terms of having a first contact resolution as one of the key KPIs, as well as, a repeat buyer ratio. Because it shows that how many people, buyer or a seller, are coming to us again and again. So while, the feedback process is there, it is not just a report that we look forward to, but what we do with that feedback and getting it into action is what matters. So that's where we focus.
Right. Thanks, Vibha. So next is Prince. Prince have a very premium customer set, right? I mean, compared to Bikanervala, compared to any other brand, I mean, very premium, very focused customers are there. So how do you prioritize that? I mean, how do you, you have some of the customer, they might be genuine, they're not be actual buyer. How do you prioritize and how do you deal that?
Thank you, Sumit. I think, like Vibha mentioned, NPS, CSAT, these are some of the gold standards what most of the companies use to get the customer feedback. Uh, just to set the context, I think customer feedback is something which can set the context or the roadmap for your organization. But I don't think everything fits on that roadmap. A lot of feedback can also be noise. Everything customer wants, you cannot give it. If we are making products just basis what customer wants, then BMW would have been making faster horses, not cars. So now the whole thing is how you channelize that feedback or the customer remarks and the comments from the social media, from the NPS feedbacks, how you are putting them in a framework and how you are prioritizing that. So there is very simple tool which we usually use is, we call that Moscow. So it's a must have, a should have, and a could have and won't have. We cannot start working on each and every feedback we get. So we try and categorize the feedback we get into these key categories and then align different departments with them, because eventually not one department can be responsible, to execute the strategy or the feedback which we are getting from the customer. So like I said, categorize them and assign them to the key teams which will be handling them, and then monitor the progress on that. That's how we prioritize, because anything which is a must-have would probably need a review every week from management, from us, and won't have, we simply just disregard that it can't be there. So that's one way we try and prioritize. Of course, we also use a lot of AI tools, which does the entire social media listening for us. Also, the language processors are built into our feedback systems, which kind of filters out the key components of that feedback, because like you mentioned, you get 20,000 feedbacks. If you start reading them, I don't think you will be able to get anything out of it if you read each and every one. So these AI tools really help us to categorize and put them into those must-haves and could-haves and should-haves.
Yeah. Any specific tool you are using particularly?
So we have Qualtrics customer feedback management system, which we work on. That basically manages, once the customer is onboarded into our organization, he automatically triggers the emailers and the WhatsApp surveys to these customers, and their feedbacks are recorded, processed, and then processed the way we want them to be. We can do all the slices and dices into the data, and we can fetch the report the way we want to.
Right. Thanks. So Kautuk with us, right? I mean, Kautuk, tell me, how do you optimize your channels? I mean, different channels you are getting, like WhatsApp, Facebook, SMS, calls. I mean, how do you optimize that? I mean, how do you optimize those channels and all? How do you do that?
Thank you, Sumit. So, in order to understand what customer is saying, I think there is no holy grail as such. You have to pay equal attention to each and every channel, because ultimately, we all are serving our customers. And Nissan being a consumer-centric company, we ensure that whether it is WhatsApp, whether it is social media where we are interacting with the consumers through posts and they are commenting back, or it is the call center where the consumers are getting connected over the call, or it is even our website where we drive traffic through various campaigns. When these consumers land, we have a CSAT survey over there where we capture their feedback. So each of these feedback mechanism is important for us, and how we look at it is, if we are looking at the consumer journey for a new consumer. So we pay attention to what the consumers are saying when they land on our website through the CSAT survey. So on our CSAT survey, we don't just capture the ranking, in terms of their customer satisfaction, but we also request for their feedback. So we capture their feedback and try and see how we can improve their customer journey. So for example, I'll give an example that on our website 2 years back, there wasn't a way to compare different variants. So when the consumers came and they said that they were not able to find out enough information between different variants, we heard them and we went back and we created a comparative tool for them so that they can understand what is the difference between the different variants that we are offering. Which can help them make a decision in a better manner. Similarly, when it comes to an existing customer who is already part of the Nissan family, so that is where the customer care or the social media plays an important part. And whatever service complaints or feedback related to the products that we receive over there, we capture that, we share it with the respective teams in a, as quick as possible manner, and then we try and give them the solution or the closure at the earliest. So that's how we try and manage that.
Right. Any specific channel you are prioritizing? I mean, suppose WhatsApp for your industry, your customer. So if anyone writing something on Facebook, if anyone sending a message in WhatsApp, so you have multiple channels. So which one you want to give prioritize?
So globally, actually, Nissan has a key KPI to monitor the rankings or the comments which are received on our website. We have a dedicated portal wherein we capture the VOC, and that is reviewed by the local team as well as the global team to understand, what are, the issues which the consumers are facing, what are the kind of requirements that they have in terms of the journey. So that is something which we prioritize a lot compared to, the other channels.
Right. Thanks. So I think everyone understands that feedback is very important. So based on that, Riddhi, if I want to ask you that, how do you close our feedback? Suppose we said that this coupon is not working, mera coupon nahi chal raha hai. How do you do that? It's an open forum. So is there any mechanism?
So our strategy is, first and foremost, tell our customers that we are there for them, we are readily available. So we are easily accessible across any channel the customer wants to reach out to us. Then after every query, we proactively ask for their feedback, specifying how can we do better, and ask for their feedback. And along with that, they also have my email ID directly. So if they want to reach out directly, they can do the same. Once we have all the feedback from the customers, the key, I think, is to centralize all of it and acknowledge the customer at the same time. So sure, auto responses help, but sometimes we do need to personalize it specifically when the feedback is pointing towards an area of improvement. So for all positive feedbacks, for our positive customer satisfaction, for all positive reviews on Google app and Play Store, we use automated replies. But when it is about something where we feel we can do better or the customer feels we can do better, we go back to them, we personalize our reply. Then we use a traditional ACPT analysis where we want to tag and analyze what the feedback is about. We categorize into whether it is related to an agent or it is because of customers' perception or behavior, or for the process or for the tech. And say if it is for an agent, the action is taken immediately. The agent is trained then and there, and the agent gets back to the customer, correcting themselves or improving the response they could have. Then if it is about the customer behavior per se, it is important in customer retention, not just to fulfill a customer's demand, but also to take care of their perception. So if they are perceiving something not correctly about your brand, it is, I think, our responsibility to correct them, make them understand. So we go back and do that. Regarding processes and technology related feedbacks, we have our weekly reviews where we review and we check what change we can bring in our SOPs, what we can do in our UI, UX. And when we do that, we go back to those customers and we tell them that you told us this and we have done this, and thank you for highlighting this, thank you for suggesting this. And I think that also increases our brand loyalty for them.
So any specific tool you're using for automated reply? I mean, just to understand.
We use our CRM. So for now, we are working with Freshworks. So we use their omni-channel. All of our queries from different channels are centralized there. And from there, we go back.
Okay, thanks. So I think we got the feedback. We have all the responses, right? So feedback need to be improved, right? So feedback, how do you manage your feedback to the various other team for the development? Suppose anyone give us any escalations, right, about the website. You go to your tech team, your product team, you should reach it out. How this cross-functional reaching out is very important. How do you manage that? I mean, it's a very important tool.
Right. So reaching out to the cross-functional team is very important, and in order to do that, I believe we need to have right system and habits in place. There are two important aspects: systems and habits. Let's talk about systems first. So at Cashify, we have multiple businesses, and one customer, can be involved or is transacting in one business or in multiple businesses, because we are buying the devices, we are selling the refurbished devices, and we are also giving the repair services for their devices that may have. So right, so capturing the feedback across all these different channels, across all this entire customer journey is really important. And once we have it, with the help of the right system, right, so what we have done, we have created a centralized reports and dashboards in our system that has been accessible to all the cross-functional teams: marketing, sales, your product, business, sales, everybody. And once they have that visibility, we also have given them the access to, log into the CRM and read those conversations, listen to those recordings, what exactly the customer is saying, to understand that level of pain or maybe that happiness which the customer is expressing. Right? So this is about the system. But without habit, the system is of no use. So what we are doing, we have set up these regular cadence with all these different cross-functional teams. This could be weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, depending upon the way we are driving things internally. And through those cross-functional meetings, we are discussing the individual insights that they have come across, that they have captured through the dashboards, through those interactions that they have seen. And from there, all those action items are being recorded. They are being tracked properly to make sure that whatever that is being prioritized in term after quantifying and everything, that is being developed and that is being tested out for the customers. Right. Side by side, what we have also done is that we have set up two different walls. Right. One is where we talk about the positives or positive voice of customer, and second one is around the negative voice of customer that actually reflects when you are just crossing the bay. So you can actually say, okay, the customers are saying this and this as well. Let's say in case you don't have the time and to go back to the dashboard or maybe not in a state. So that is also giving a good visibility to everyone what exactly the customers are saying, and that gives a sense of positivity to everyone to work towards in the direction of improving experience. So yeah, this is it.
Right. So again, I mean, why I'm asking for the tools and all, because we should understand what are the best trained and all. So any tool you're using for the internal communication currently?
So we have Tableau for reports and data insights. We're also using Google Meet along with Google Chat and Slack for internal communications.
Right. Thanks. So I think we have enough feedbacks, right? So how do you think that feedback is related to innovation? I mean, suppose somebody said that my room is very cozy, the smell you should change it to rose it to chandan and all, right? I mean, you take those feedback and you do implement, and innovation is there, or what do you do?
See, so I represent hospitality as a brand, and we have a good audience here. I think it's slightly bored, so I'll just cheer up the room. So, well, my colleagues here do tough businesses, but so do we. But hotels are customer centric, and everything is revolving around the customer. Every business, more or large, does that. With Marriott, the advantage that we have over our competition is that we've got processes in place. So every business we build, and specifically ours, is around 3 Ps: people, product, and processes, right? So customer feedback. Generally, the old school hotels used to, track down feedbacks. Okay, the coffee is not good, the room's AC is not working. We track it down, and then we send our engineering team. They'll check it, and then, it used to just get on Excel sheets. Then the stage 2 comes in where we have our systems in place. So if Mr. Banerjee's or one of you are our regular guests at a specific hotel, we would know what has happened with you in the past. Now times have come where there's so much competition, there's so much data, and there's such great tools that are in the market that the future that holds is that any specific room, for example, we've got 511 rooms in our hotel, and a big size luxury hotels has anything between 250 to 500 rooms. Any room which has a specific preventive maintenance, your tools will pop up those specific rooms and will automatically put them under maintenance. So this is what the futuristic approach of taking as feedbacks is. It will automatically spool in all the data which is spooled from customer feedbacks. And then our job as property leaders is to ensure and execute the strategy which is in place. Oh, sorry. So yeah, that's about it. And this is where hotels have come. And there are a lot of hotels which are, as we speak, executing that process and executing those systems, and by the end of this year, with the way and the speed AI is coming into major companies, it will be in fraction of a month maybe.
Right. I mean, it's a matter of only 2-3 years. I mean, now everything will be changed, right? So, so to all of you, I mean, if you want to fix one broken part from feedback to innovation, so how do you do that? I mean, start with.
So your question is one broken piece in the whole
Right.
journey or the process. So for SAMIL, that's what we call Shriram Automall, and after heading the customer experience, what I have realized is the speed to action gap, right? So we all collect a lot of feedback. There is a lot of data floating around everywhere. But what do we do with it, right? It's not just about seeking feedback. It is also about how innovatively we come up with solutions, permanent solutions, not just a makeshift arrangement, where the customer gets a complete solution, is followed up, and next time that issue doesn't arise, right? So it is not just about getting the feedback, but ensuring that the whole loop and the whole cycle of the feedback process is complete. And there are so many ways how digital transformation is playing a role in the organizations these days. A lot of manual processes are being replaced by AI and technology. So I'll give one real life example where through customer feedback, what we did with it is what matters in terms of, as I said, it's the price point that matters for any pre-owned vehicle and equipment. So we created an in-house tool with the tie-up with Academia. So IIT Delhi is helping us enhance the PriceX tool is what we call. And this came as a feedback from the customer, which we quickly worked upon. So I think it's the speed and finding that issue and fixing the gap is what I would like to do much better.
Right. I mean, for you, it's a speed, right? I mean, TAT. You consider reducing the TAT, also the quality thing.
Because it's a very real-time physical feedback that we get, and we have to fix it real-time.
Right. What about Sahil? I mean, what do you think? One single change pins.
So I think if I start listing down, there will be a lot of them. But let me give
Just
another
one thing.
Let me give another point of view, because the moment we talk about customer feedback, the first thing which pop up in your head is a customer complaint or a bashing about your product or something like that. And we never think about the appreciation which probably would have come. So I think by managing all these stats, KPIs, we are so focused on that particular thing that we have stopped celebrating appreciation. So I think that is something which I would like. I encourage my dealer partners to celebrate, incentivize, award the guys who have brought in the appreciation rather than just the negative feedback. And of course, the KPIs bring in rack in money for you. There will be that will continue till the end of the year. That will never stop. But I think that is something which I would really want at least my dealer partners to do more and more. That they celebrate the appreciation we get from the customers.
Right. Well, appreciation is the correct word, right? Yeah. Thanks.
Because I think not just the critical feedback about the product, but the positive and the appreciation of your systems and processes, like Sahil mentioned, that also gives you the belief in the systems and processes which you have put in. And you as an organization can back those strategies that, yes, let's go ahead with that. That also will eventually help you to, innovate and evolutionize what you are trying to do here.
Right. Thanks. Kautuk, for you, how do you fix one single thing for a broker innovation?
So, if you ask me, I think one very important thing which I would like to fix is that, for any automobile manufacturer, I think the most important source of sales is the walk-ins. So the people who walk into the showroom, they have got the highest conversions. Close to 20-21% probably is the industry benchmark. So which means that 100 people who walk into the showroom, only 20 people actually end up buying the product. So what happens to the remaining 80 people? Why are they not buying the product even after when they have chosen to walk into a showroom, and that too in today's digital age where every piece of information about the product and services is available online. So yet they chose to walk into the showroom to experience the product, maybe to even test drive it, but still they did not choose to finally go ahead and purchase the product. So I would want to capture the feedback of these 80% people. Of course, there are other ways of doing marketing surveys and all of that, but that only is the tip of the iceberg. It doesn't give you the complete picture. But if we are able to somehow capture all the complete offline customers' feedback, I think that will really help us to not only just ensure that our products are improved, but also how we are approaching the consumers, what kind of journey are we providing them, what kind of experience are we providing them in the showrooms. So I think that is something I would want to fix.
I think customer journey, right? Customer journey is the one word I can say that you want to fix that. Customer journey should be more smooth, right? Okay, thanks. Riddhi, in Cash Karo, what change you wanted to bring?
For me, I think part of the challenge to solve for customer is vagueness in the feedback that we get. A lot of it is not given, not good app. So we sometimes do not know what to make out of it. If there's something good about the app, what exactly is that is striking well for the customer, so that we highlight that more for the other customers. Or if something is not good, what exactly is not good, or what is not really given, so we work upon it. So for the surveys that we are sending out, I think we're trying to reduce the customer effort, but still make it relevant for us by giving them little check boxes wherever we think these could be the areas that they would want to list down. But again, every customer has a different viewpoint. So not really sure that that covers the exact feedback that the customer otherwise would want to. Similarly, asking exact specific questions, what we could have done better here, but still a long way to go. Just trying, open for ideas from my fellow mates also here, how to solve for it.
Right. Specification is the correct word, I guess. Right. Right. Thanks. For Cashify, I mean, how do you? I mean, if you want to fix one thing, what will be?
So I think one important thing would be to have that ownership in each one of us, that customer is really important for us, and we should do whatever that is required to fix whatever that we can. For example, like when I say ownership, what exactly is that? One way is कि I have the data, I'm looking into it, I'll do it later on. Second approach is let's deep dive to what extent we can, and even if that means speaking to the customer or asking the customer, can we meet, to understand the exact problem that the customer face, right? Because most of the times when we try to reach to the customer is not reachable. That is a right. So is there a better way? Can we have that level of ownership where we are actually trying to understand what the customer is saying? Otherwise, the data is of no use to us, and it just keeps moving here and there. So having that sense of ownership is really important. I think we should have that.
Ownership is a one key thing, right? You want to fix. Okay, thanks. For any hotel, traveler or anyone is staying in hotel. So how do you think that what is the key element you want to fix for your current system?
See, I wouldn't want to fix anything with Marriott because it's a growing company. Well, you can say it's a diplomatic answer, but it is not. But if you ask me one thing, which I would like to work on is, I would say people. Because as Prince slightly mentioned that we kind of, we don't celebrate our wins as much. And, if you've built a company, you've built a product, then it's up to your people, right? So a company or a processes or product can be built once. But after that, it is your team, it is your people which require constant fixing. And trust me, the power of a team, a good team is very underrated till now. I think the smarter leaders kind of understand and pick up the game. But if you see the best of the best people or the best of the best leaders across, they're all good people. They're fantastic with their teams, and they're great leaders, they're inspirational businessmen with a great business acumen as well. So it's the legacy that they give behind to their juniors, to their teams below, and then they drive it. Like our CEO sitting in the US, but he would know what's happening in the country because we've got 8,000 plus hotels. We've got 31 brands. We're still acquiring more hotels. So Marriott has about 50 hotels in pipeline. And it's not only Marriott. I think if I speak about my industry as whole, all brands like Radisson, Hyatt, Accor, they're all expanding. And I was speaking to one of the top executives at JLL yesterday. I was fortunate enough to have a cup of coffee with him yesterday, and I was just asking him out of curiosity because he's my senior, right? He has all the numbers of the country. And I was asking him, sir, there's so many hotels coming up, roughly about 200 hotels coming up in the country. I see a lot of jobs coming up. I see a lot of expansion, a lot of money reinvested in the country. But do you think all hotels would run, and the younger generation now, which is coming out of colleges, would also want to work in hotels? This is a different aspect altogether, because last year, hotel management seats, 60% were empty. So this is again, we are a tough industry to work at because it's odd hours. We don't get Holi Diwali off, right? And then we have to work night shifts as well. So our teams are really working hard. And then if we don't value them, we lose them. If we don't train them, we again lose them to our competitors. Like, if I would have been a junior or at my level as well, I would love to work for a BMW. Why not? Like, it's a great company to be with. If I'm valued and if I'm trained well as an employee, and if I am looked after, I would want to stick to the company and help myself grow with the company. And at Marriott, I just sum it up by saying that our company motto, it's basically a culture that we inculcate at all hotels, and it's by our founder, Mr. Marriott. The culture says that look after your people so that your people can look after your business. So this is a beautiful quote that is a culture line in Marriott all across 8,000 hotels, and this is exactly why Marriott as a company has grown so much and continues to grow. So my answer would be people. They are rock stars.
Right. Thanks, Sahil. So I think for you, like people connect, recognition, these are the words, right? Okay. So thank you, everyone. So thank you for your time. And I think anyone want to add anything, you guys can close the call.
I think we can be open for questions. If our audience needs to ask something from us. Sir would like to ask.
Hi, I'm Rashmikant from Tata Power Delhi. My question is to the BMW process of Moscow. It was very interesting to know, but how AI tool identifies this is as a must be, should be, and won't be features? How do you train that? What is the some sort of a, if you can give us some idea in terms of how do you filter it out in these three segments? While we understand Kano's analysis and all that piece being there, but how it is actually applied for a BMW case would be very interesting.
So basically, the AI tools help us to categorize them, not in the must-haves, but it gives us that where is the root cause or what is the issue, or let's say it is the people like Sahil mentioned, or is it the machinery which we are using, or is there an issue at the production end? So it categorizes that which team really needs to work on. And then when we further deep dive into the feedback, then we can pick that the Moscow rule, what we can use. But the overall broader categorization, that's where the AI tool can really help us, because we work across the nation. There will be feedbacks which are in local vernaculars. Everyone cannot understand that. So that's where the AI tools come in handy. They process and then put them into those certain categories.
But the decision of the must be and all that, it lies with the team there.
Yeah, of course. So
But it's not an AI which is helping.
No, of course,
Yeah.
there has to be a human element to decide that. So, like for example, if we are talking about, we are getting a complaint on the on how the customer is being handled at a workshop, it's in the waiting area. So then we can, if someone is complaining that there is no water, then it's a must-have for us. But if some feedback is that you should have a gym also while we are waiting for the car for 4 hours, then it can be either could have or a won't have category.
Agree. So
Yeah.
I was just trying to figure out as to whether there's AI is also entering into this field or not. I was just trying to check it out.
No, but that
Thank you.
helps us to make us reach at that point.
Yeah, so I understood. So channelizing of the information is good, but I was just trying to figure out whether the intelligence of having it in these three baskets or buckets. Yeah, just yeah, that's what I was doing. That's where I was looking for those inputs. Thank you.
Anyone from the audience? Yeah. So I think it's a good discussion, right? I mean, everyone got their different opinion, different points into on the feedbacks and all. So yeah, I mean, let's close the call. Okay.
We summarize with a closing comment. So yeah, back on that point, AI cannot replace human intelligence. That remains a fact. But with the entire discussion, I think we had some interesting discussions and some new lingos that I learned today. Even before the session, we had an icebreaker and we had some good discussions. But for me to summarize today's panel discussion, it is not just the satisfaction of the customer which we seek as a feedback, but any product or service which has evolved into a successful product or service has has been due to two factors. One, customers are speaking, right, all the time. So we need to listen harder and then act faster. I was reading that there has been an empirical study where if in the first 7 days any customer issue is resolved amicably, the business increases by up to 20% and the repeatability of that customer and the loyalty increases. So satisfaction, customer satisfaction should not be taken just to gauge the engagement and happiness, but actually to create loyalty.
Prince.
So, I think just to summarize the whole discussion from my point of view, that first try and process the feedback and eliminate. Second is to prioritize and categorize your feedbacks. Then is to assign those feedbacks in sense of collaboration across the organization, monitor them, and then celebrate your wins. I think that would be the quick summary on this. Thank you.
So I think one takeaway I will go back with from the discussion, which was a very healthy one from different people in different industries. I think while the feedback is being captured in different channels, but if we can use, as Prince highlighted and the questions that came in, if we are able to use AI somehow to categorize them, the feedback which are coming from different channels in a much better way, I think we will be able to respond to these feedback or even complaints for that matter in a much better manner. So I think I would want to explore that.
Yeah. Thanks.
You want to add? No?
Yeah.
I'll lastly add. So, customer experience, we've all said enough. I'll make you experience customer experience by if you come to a Marriott hotel and spend some money and become a Marriott Bonvoy member, I'll get you special discounts and special rates. So this offer is valid to all of you.
Can you get some trial like BMW?
Or Prince will be sweet enough to offer BMW car for a day, but for that you'll have to buy a BMW car. So you can imagine. So it depends on your spending capacity.
Sure.
Once you want to change it, we can auction it and give a new model.
Probably, yeah. Collaborate collectively.
Okay. Thanks everyone. Thanks for your time. Thanks. Thank you.